Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you happen to be around the world, and welcome to our third edition of the Cosplayer Costume Profile, a special edition tonight where we are going to be talking to someone who jumped in right out of the gate early on to take their cosplaying costuming skills and start producing cloth face masks for people to wear outside to be safe and protect themselves against this horrible situation we find ourselves in with the coronavirus pandemic. And that is the lovely and talented Makeup Mermaid Cosplay. If you would introduce yourself, tell people where they can find you, and maybe a little bit about how long you've been doing this sort of thing, the cosplay part, that is.
So thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. My handle is Makeup Mermaid Cosplay. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. All Makeup Mermaid Cosplay or Makeup Mermaid Cos on TikTok. Basically, I've been doing this for around 5 or 6 years now. I've been competing for the past year or two or so, creating costumes and performing as characters. Basically, I love doing princesses as well as other fun characters to kind of spread awareness of certain issues as well as to have fun and kind of bring joy and entertainment to people.
As you people probably saw in the slideshow that was running before we went live here, and just at Rokerson, welcome to the show. Yes, yes, Makeup Mermaid Cosplay is amazing. I agree. Gotcha Teddy, hello. Rodimus Primal, hello. And again, my apologies for changing the time on you. You had every right to be upset about that. But I'm glad you joined us again. Um, if you saw the slideshow, then you saw some of the incredibly wide variety of cosplay. And those pictures were literally taken in the last 7 or 8 months since Pop Cult, so since August. 6 different costumes in various cons around New England in August. So, yeah. So, why don't you tell? So, what you're doing is, why don't you hold up an example of what it is you're doing? What you're doing is you're making these cloth face masks, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a few different types and models. So I have this model, which has the pleated design, and then I also have the more fitted design.
Cool, cool. Now, where did you get the plans, the designs, the templates, or whatever for 2 different designs? I didn't realize you were making two. That's really cool.
hmm so basically, I did my own research and then modified patterns as well. That's something that cosplay has given me the skill to do, is to research and try and get the best materials and the best things that I can for these projects. And then I modify them to kind of better fit the face and better fit what I saw people needed, and getting people's feedback on them. So I did a few test models, a few mock-ups as they were, before sending out to people.
Cool, cool. And where did you, or did you need to go find a supply of the material that you're using to make these out of? Are you using your own? Every cosplayer I know has just bolts and bolts of cloth lying around, or did you actually have to go out and get more?
So that's the great thing about cosplay. You turn into a bit of a fabric hoarder. So a lot of the fabric stores, as people know, are closed down right now and or sold out of a lot of essential things that you need to make these masks. So luckily, I had a backup of the elastic that you need to make these masks, as well as some of the cloth that you need to make these masks. So some of these fabrics I was planning to use for other projects, or I purchased already, and I thought they were the perfect materials or as close as what I could find for the materials. So you're going to want 100% cotton, and quilter's cotton is better. So it was really nice to be able to go through my stash to be able to make these, as a lot of things are closed right now.
Victor, welcome to the show. So you said you already had the elastic, which is from what I've been seeing among my cosplay friends posting on Facebook is the biggest problem, is getting more of that or finding a supply of that. What do you use regularly enough in cosplay that you would keep a supply of that kind of elastic around? What would it be used for in your costumes?
Yeah, so these really thin elastics, 1/4 inch, I had used partially on one of my other Ariel gowns to create her giant puff sleeves and create the ruffles and ruching in that. But I always like to have a little supply of leftover materials to be able to quickly work on cosplays as I need to, because as you have seen, I whip up a lot of cosplays. So it's nice to just have those things on hand. So I use those for sleeves, as well as other little details and stuff for the smaller elastic.
All right. Excellent. I was going to bring up the slideshow because it landed right on that picture of Ariel, and then it went away, and there's 6 more. So I figured, no, we'll just wait. Um, so the different material you were talking about, quilters cotton. What's the
Hmm.
difference between that and say just a regular, like a cotton you would use for like an Oxford cloth shirt, or anything else?
Yeah, so some cottons on a lot of like knit shirts and other things like that, they're made out of knit, which you stretch. That's you can kind of see that on larger knits, and that has holes, which kind of defeats the purpose. Now, I want to include a disclaimer: these masks are not as good as the N95 mask; they won't protect you as well. But these are good for extending the life of N95 masks and also just as any kind of barrier that you can get right now. Quilter's cotton is a lot more tightly woven with a lot higher of a thread count. And yeah, with some of these masks, I do up to like 4 layers.
Oh wow,
And then these ones as well have the optional insert area to include filters as well.
cool, cool. HG Element, agreed, 100% beautiful, talented, and helping people stay safe. We stan a Disney queen.
Thank you.
Agreed. So yeah, let's hammer that point home. If you're going outside with a mask that is not an N95 mask, what you're doing is you are keeping other people safe from stuff coming out of you. You are not necessarily keeping yourself safe from stuff coming toward you as an N95 would. But the biggest reason for using them is to keep other people safe from a cough, from even just, talking, and the moisture, the droplets that come out in your breath. So, so yeah, thank you for bringing that up and making sure that was clear. I should have made that point. So the filter drop-in idea is really cool. Uh, do you have a recommendation for what kind of filtering material that people should drop in there?
Yeah, I mean, if you can get your hands on it, I've heard people, it's not as good as getting the actual filters that you can get from like medical supply companies and things like that. You can use, I've even heard people try to use coffee filters and things like that. But yeah, again, if you can get your hands on that filter material, I've heard people use certain types of vacuum bags or HVAC kind of bags. Just be careful that you're not inhaling anything that you shouldn't, because these are right up against your mouth and I guess your respiratory system. But yeah, the CDC currently recommends that everybody wear a cloth mask outside, which has changed from the original view on that.
And there are a number of places, including New York City, just made that mandatory. That are, if you are outside where you cannot guarantee that you can maintain the 6 foot socially distant distance, you have to wear a face covering of some sort that covers nose and mouth. That the Oh, actually that's all New York State. That's statewide. Governor Cuomo just put that out earlier today. Um, so Manuela, welcome to the show. Jessica, welcome to the show. Uh, so that's another thing that we should make very clear when you are looking at, if you are going to put an insert in there, absolutely stay away from any sort of HVAC filtration. That has loose fibers in it. Often that is some sort of spun glass, like a fiberglass. And that is stuff that can get into your lungs. Don't use that. Um, but if you want to put a filter in there of some sort, I guess a coffee filter could work. Oh.
It doesn't work as good as other methods, but yeah, whatever we can get our hands on right now is what we've been using. But the nice thing about these designs as well is you can take it out so you can wash and reuse these, so that can help to sanitize it. Because this virus, we're noticing that with hot water and soap, it can really help kill it off.
Yes. Yeah, that is the important. It can be washed off of your hands. That's why they keep saying wash your hands. It can be washed off of other surfaces or substances, but it will live on those substances for a while. Some of them apparently for a couple of days. So wash that, wash your hands, and reuse it. It's a heck of a lot more responsible than using up any kind of filter, particularly an N95 type filter, that should be used for medical personnel. And again, if you know, this is one thing. I mean, as anime fans and Japanophiles, as us people all are, of course, this should have been obvious to a lot of us. But somebody pointed this out on one of the morning shows this morning that nobody here in the United States seems to realize that whenever something like this happens in Japan or China or wherever, and people start putting on masks, it's not to protect themselves. Those societies have a much better societal, cultural protection sense about them. So it is to protect the other people that they're going to be around. It's to keep it in. And we need to adopt that strategy, and thankfully, many people are. Thankfully, many people like Makeup Mermaid Cosplay are doing this. Cosplayers, if you have any cosplayer friends and you haven't seen them posting about this sort of stuff, that would be shocking to me. I noticed that you said earlier today in Facebook that you were opening up orders for your masks again. Um, I assume that you stopped because you were burnt out, but not out of material or whatever. Can you give us a sense of how many of these things you've produced up to this point?
Yeah, and also just talk about anybody who needs these masks. I would like to get them to you, even if you can't afford it right now. The masks it's appreciated to get a little bit just to be able to send it, ship it to you, and to be able to keep getting new materials and or restock some materials. So I appreciate all of that, but I want to make sure everybody has one. And again, it's nice to have a few of them even so you can wash them in between wears and have a few each time, each time you go out. Yeah, so I've been involved in a few different efforts, just of my own kind of creations. I've made around 30 masks so far,
Wow.
of the higher quality masks.
Yep.
I've heard some people have sewn like 150, like 200 or more. So I'd love to step up my game too. So let me know if anybody needs them as well. I've been involved in some other mask efforts as well, including one that people are able to take scuba diving masks and able to transform them for medical use. But I switched over to these home masks now just to keep everyone around me safe because, yeah, stay home, everybody.
Stay home. So, what would be the best social media platform for them to reach out to you? Do you have a preferred one that they can reach out to you to ask for a mask?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Makeup Mermaid Cosplay. That would probably be one of the easiest to reach me on. You can find me. I have the bright Ariel red hair as well in my profile picture and a lot of fun cosplay if you want to look around as well. And I'm also just going to say that, yeah, these are also the Little Mermaid. I don't want a lot of things in the ocean. So these are also a lot better for the environment than what I've been seeing of people throwing their gloves and their masks all over the place and just leaving them on the ground for them to infect other people or to wash away into the oceans.
Yeah, please do not do that. Please, please, please do not do that. Um, oh gosh, you got me so incensed when you said that I completely forgot what my next question was. Oh, I wanted you to. So earlier, before we actually went live, you showed a bunch of different designs or different looks. Just sort of roll through a few of the different fabric materials that you've already made masks of that you've got in front of you there.
Yeah, so I have this one, this nice pleated design. These have some really nice orchids. So this is nice for spring. And then I also have this one over here, which has some fun little bats. So this might be suited to some kind of gothic or anime fan, Black Butler, or something along those lines. So it's fun to be able to, if you're forced to wear something outside, be able to kind of fit it to your taste. So yeah, I'm especially doing some more of the luxury ones where you can fully customize it. Those will be a little bit more possibly than the I just want to get masks out there. And then this one I did as well. So this
Yes.
one also is very anime inspired. Kind of like a soul eater type of mask slash a vampire kind of mask. Yeah, and these basically, this is a hand painted design because again, I don't want to include any embroidery around the center, anything near where your nose and mouth would be. You don't want to poke any holes in this. So I try to use as few pins as possible. I mostly for around here, I don't use pins or I use clips. And then, yeah, they're fully lined and they have some really nice top stitching as well as they have wire in the nose, which again, I had all of that in my collection from other things. And they
I
also
get an
have,
idea. Hold that back up. I get an idea.
yeah,
I get an idea. So if you're willing to take a custom order, so you put just a little bit of glowing sort of red right underneath where it's right under the eye, and then you've got Ken from Tokyo
yeah,
Ghoul.
yeah,
So that's like the perfect Ken mask, actually. Quentin,
yeah.
welcome to the show. That would be cool. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. Using fabric paint or something on there, you don't want to poke holes in that.
Yeah.
And as you said, that's why you use the quilting cotton because it's such a tight weave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to be careful not to poke any holes. Because I've seeing some people do some like really fun, more fashion ones. But yeah, any kind of embroidery or any design that you have, it can poke holes as you're sewing through it because that's what the sewing needle does is poke right through. So that introduces more holes than you want to have in a mask that's trying to keep you safe and everyone else safe too.
So that's interesting. I just earlier saw somebody showing off with a beautiful looking mask that was made with denim,
Hmm.
which is a pretty tight weave generally, but it had the denim seam like pants right down the middle
Yeah.
of the face, and that means all those holes for the stitching. Um,
Yeah.
so that was probably not a great design.
Yeah. So you just want to be careful. I've seen some other people just do some fun, kind of more fashion masks as like just a social statement, basically. Um, so you can have some fun masks to do like a photo shoot or something. I know we're all stuck inside right now, but yeah, if you're wearing something out, you just want to be careful that you don't have anything around here, and you want to be careful of your materials as well.
Cool, cool. Wolf Furry Plays, welcome to the show. So if people want to help you do this, like either helping you get supplies, is there some place where they can order the kind of material, either the elastics or the cloth or whatever, and have it shipped to you?
Yeah, and if anybody has like donations or things like that, I believe Joann's right now is still doing online orders. But yeah, a lot of my favorite local fabric stores are currently closed down. And if you want, you can also donate as well to my PayPal or Venmo, and that can help me get my hands on more materials. But yeah, no, I'm always looking for more elastic and more fabric as well.
And I would
So.
assume those links are in like a link tree or something in your Instagram.
Yeah, and I'll get them for to you as well.
Okay.
And then I've also been doing fabric ties as well when I've been running out of elastic. And some people actually prefer the fabric ties as well, especially for like nurses and people like that, because they'll stand up a while. These will stand up a really nice long time to wash, but to bleach and stuff like that. So fabric ties are also an option. They just take a little bit longer to put on and put off than just doing a little 1-2.
Yeah, but yeah, it would take a little bit longer. But since you're going to be doing the tie in the back, I don't think it would be any more dangerous because you're still not touching the front.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's not dangerous. It's just, yeah, it's a lot easier for just regular people to wear these than nurses who might be more used to tying.
Yeah.
Yeah. These
Peaceful.
I've heard.
Go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah. That was it. Thanks.
All right. Peaceful Shadow Wolfie, welcome to the show. Gizmo E, it is nice to hear that people are working together to help during these tough times. 100% agreed, Gizmo, and thank you for your comment. So I think we're just about at 20 minutes, so I think that is going to wrap us up. Once again, let everybody out there know who needs or wants a mask what's the best way to get in touch with you on whichever social media platform you want them to?
Yeah, so the best way, just shoot me a message on Instagram, my Facebook page, Make a Mermaid Cosplay and Commissions, or other areas that you can find me as well. So yeah, but the best would probably be Instagram to shoot me a message. Suggested donations are around $10 to $20 if you would like. But again, I don't want this to be exclusive for people who can't afford it. I want to make sure that you guys get a mask as well.
Awesome.
And to those who want to donate too, that can help other people get masks as well.
Awesome. Very cool. And I hope that wasn't anything important that just fell over. Um, thank you once again. Thank you very much for doing this for everybody. Thank you for being on here on our YouTube channel, telling everybody about it. Makeup Mermaid Cosplay, amazingly talented and a wonderful person for doing all of this work. And thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining, for your comments and questions. That was wonderful. Because there are no cons, we don't have a lot to promote. So next Tuesday is our next Nerd Week live show. So check that out, 8 p.m. Tuesdays. And with that, I'll bid you all a good evening. Stay safe, stay inside, cover your mouths and noses. If you have to go outside for important stuff, wash them hands. Last comment. Makeup Mermaid Cosplay. What do we want to say to people?
I just want to thank everybody else too that's putting in this effort. It's not just me. There's so many other amazing cosplayers and as well as amazing just medical workers in general, and other essential workers who are putting everything on the line for us. So I just want to thank everybody out there who's trying to make a difference right now.
Here, here. 100% agreed. Awesome. Thank you all, folks. Have a good evening. Stay safe. Bye-bye.